Now, how do we find the domain of this function? Domain is x, so you're looking left and right. Starting to the left, you always want to start with the smallest possible value in that set. So if we're talking about domain, we're going as far left as possible, and this arrow indicates that it goes all the way to negative infinity. So that's the first part of your interval. From negative infinity all the way until, well, you go to the right, all the way until 2. It appears that 2 may not be in the domain, except it goes down to this part, and this closed circle indicates that 2 is in the domain. It's just on this piece, not this piece. So from negative infinity all the way up to 2, including 2, all the way up to 6, including 6, excuse me. And then right after 6, what about 6.1? Well, it jumps down to the third piece, and it picks up right after 6 and continues on all the way to infinity. So the domain of this function is all the way to the left to a negative infinity, all the way to the right to positive infinity, every number in between. So this is the interval notation from negative infinity to infinity. It includes every number. An alternative way to write that is to use a script R, capital R. That's stylized. This is representing all real numbers. Last example, the domain and range of this. Now this at first may seem like an algebra 1 problem because it's a line. That's definitely algebra 1. It has a slope of 2, it looks like, a y-intercept of 9. So I can write this function as y equals 2x plus 9. But I'm asked to find the domain. Well, left to right, from left to right. This arrow is going down and to the left. I don't care that it goes down. I just care that it's going to the left because I'm thinking about domain. And it's going to the left forever. So it starts with negative infinity. And then I scan to the right. All these x values are included. It looks like negative 5 is excluded. When x is negative 5, there's a hole there. But this ordered pair up here is where that hole was misplaced. So this ordered pair is part of the function. This is the ordered pair negative 5 comma 4. So looking along this line, you may think that negative 5 is not in the domain, but it is in the domain. It's accounted for right here. If this ordered pair wasn't here, then the answer would be all numbers except for negative 5. But negative 5 is accounted for right here. So the domain is just all real numbers. This is the domain of all real numbers. It includes every x value you could possibly imagine is on this line. Negative 7, right there on the line. Negative 10, yep, right there on the line. 3008, yep, it's going to be way, way, way up there on the line. What about negative 5? Negative 5 is right here. It's not on the line, but it is right here. And this is part of the graph. It's part of the whole function. It's broken up into 2 pieces. So we call it a piecewise function. Now, what's the range? Range is the y value. So you're going up and down. And we start down because we want to start with the smallest range value. And this arrow is pointing down. So it begins with negative infinity. And then I go up. Negative 9 is a range value. Negative 8 is a range value. Negative 7 is a range value. All the way up. And it looks like negative 1 is not a range value. And I'm looking at all the possible entries for where y equals negative 1, and the graph does not exist. The graph does not exist when y equals negative 1. It exists when y equals 0. It's right here. It exists when y is positive 1. It's right there. It exists when y is positive 4 2 times. Y is 4 here, and y is 4 there. But it doesn't exist when y is negative 1. So the range for this is all real numbers except for negative 1. So if you can imagine a number line starting with negative infinity going all the way to positive infinity, you need to include every number except for negative 1, which breaks up the number line into two parts. Everything to the left of -1, and then everything to the right of -1. And that's how you write it. Starting with negative infinity, all the way up to -1, you're not including -1, but then you're joining that union with the other section, everything bigger than positive. Oh, this should be positive, -1, I mean. And there you have it. I hope that was clear. But always email me with questions. Talk to your friends for questions. Do a Google search to get help, but I am always here for sure. I've got 5 or 6, or maybe 7 questions on Delta Math. Go there and do the homework there now. If you haven't created an account, you need to do that yesterday. The assignment or the instructions on how to do that were sent in an email last week. And have a great day, everybody. I will see you next time I see you.